Oh, it has all the makings for a special night at Printscape Arena here in South Point. Hello and welcome to 10 Band TV's presentation of PIHL hockey all season long as Week 15 rolls on with Peters Township hosting Upper St. Clair in what could be a first-round playoff matchup. Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm Matt Gajtka, and why a special night? Well, of course, we have two teams contending for a championship facing off. Isn't that good enough? Well, it is, but also off the ice tonight, the Pennsylvania Hockey Hall of Fame is honoring a team that was dominant 20 years ago, the Peters Township 2002-03 AA Penguins Cup and State Championship team, one of the most dominant squads in the history of Pennsylvania high school hockey. So we have that going on in addition to, like I said, a pretty darn good matchup here, especially as we creep our way down toward the home stretch. Now in the third week of January, Peters Township, with a win tonight against Upper St. Clair, would move into first place by itself, at least for now, for a couple of days in the AAA standings, while Upper St. Clair has won 4 in a row and can further solidify what has been an outstanding start to the season and make it more into, well, an outstanding middle, which it has been ever since the holiday break. Great to be with you once again, folks. The Zambonis have done their work, and we're waiting for the start of warm-ups here at Printscape Arena. Like I said, a lot going on off the ice tonight in addition to on the ice, and this is just Game 1 of our 10-band TV doubleheader. Coming up in Game 2, the Cannon McMillan Big Macs try to find a lifeline in the AAA playoff race as they host the resurgent Central Catholic Vikings, who have done great work so far this season and, in fact, are also contending for that first place spot, at least in terms of the regular season standings, when we get down to the end of the schedule, which will be later next month. For Peters Township, well, you saw it here last Monday here on 10-band TV up at Barrel Ice Complex in Warrendale. The Indians rallied with 3 goals in the third period to beat North Allegheny 4-3 in overtime. Ryder Mertens scored a couple of goals to help the Indians get to OT, and Ben Kovac netted the tying goal late in regulation time, or the go-ahead goal, I should say, late in regulation time before North Allegheny tied it up again. It was a classic. You can find it there on our archive page on 10-band TV. But Luca Maeda just returning to the lineup in the last couple of weeks due to injury. The sophomore who scored a ton of big goals last year as a freshman as the Indians went all the way to the state championship. Well, he got the overtime winner against NA last week, and that puts Peters Township at 10-3 on the season. Still 7 games to go, so they have games in hand on both Seneca Valley and North Allegheny, the two teams that are 1 point ahead of them in the standings. Peters Township on 20 points, Seneca Valley and North Allegheny on 21 points apiece. And so with a win of any kind tonight against Upper St. Clair, Peters Township will move into first. As for the Panthers, coached by David Stock, like I mentioned, they've won 4 straight, and they've won 5 out of 6 overall since starting off, well, so-so, or a little bit worse than that, in fact. They were 2-4 on Thanksgiving weekend, but since the start of December, beginning with a 6-4 win against Central Catholic, the Panthers have been on fire. Yes, they lost to Seneca Valley, but since then they've reeled off wins against Cannon Mac, 5-0, which you saw here on 10-band TV right before the holiday break. Then, since the new year, they beat Mount Lebo 5-2. They beat Baldwin on the road 5-0. And they beat Cannon McMillan at the Ice Castle Arena, trackside rink, last week. So here are the Panthers now with a record of 7-4-1, tied for 6th. But again, taking a look at the standings, the Panthers are at 15 points. They're just 6 out of first place. And if you're thinking about home ice advantage in the first round, they're just 4 behind Central Catholic, which currently holds the number 4 position. Getting set for opening face-off tonight. And again, thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Gajtka on the play-by-play flying solo this evening. And we'll have between the second and third periods more of a look back at that Peters Township 2002-03 squad, which featured future pro players like Christian Hansen and Christian Manella, among many others, who went on to, well, have dominant high school careers as well as good careers elsewhere, moving on past this level. But as far as what they did at this level, it was something special. They lost just twice in the regular season, compiling a record of 18-2, and then went on to sweep their way through the playoffs, obviously, with very little drama as they dominated teams both in the Penguins Cup bracket and then in the state final against Holy Ghost Prep, winning that one by a score of 7-2. And so that was one of the AA championships for Peters Township before they made the jump up to AAA. As of right now, we'll take a short break and bring it on back for the opening face-off. This is PIHL Hockey on 10 Band TV. Just underway from Printscape Arena at South Point. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is 10 Band TV's presentation of the PIHL Class AAA matchup tonight between Peters Township and Upper St. Clair. Peters Township in the white, Upper St. Clair in the black. And here comes Hardy for Upper St. Clair, trying a little dipsy-do move, ends up behind the net. Now he puts it to the side of the goal, and the one-time shot skitters wide out to the point. And now fed back to Ruffner, who turns. Ruffner with the team leading 16 goals on the year, has it behind the goal. 16 goals, including 5 shorthanded. Yes, 5 with the Panthers short a man. But the Indians come breaking back, and it's Troy Jones. He's knocked off stride as he dumped it in. Back to retrieve there, Rory Shagan-Siniowski, the junior defenseman. He headmans the puck. Colin McFeely stretches out to try to take this, but he's confronted there by Nathan D'Amico of Peters Township, along with Charlie Caputo. And here's Caputo taking a look, bouncing it out to center ice. Upper St. Clair has won 4 in a row and 5 out of 6 since a 2-4 start. So the Panthers have gotten back on their feet, or on their paws, and they're raring to go, and they're showing they're a real threat here as a shot goes over the top of the crossbar. The rebound, and it's in behind the goaltender, looking this way and that, and it's under Hilbert somewhere as he found a way to scissor those legs together and keep the puck from getting in behind him. What a chance, though, for USC. Upper St. Clair with a record of 7-4-1. And the top unit of Ruffner, Stawiarski, and Hardy is out there. Stawiarski took the shot. That's off the stick hand of Hilbert and off to the glass. Not cleared out. Here's Ruffner again. The last time we saw Upper St. Clair in this rink, this line was completely dominant. It generated all 5 goals in a 5-0 win against Cannon Mac, the other AAA tenant in this building. All 5 of those goals were at even strength as well, so there were no cheapies. Not that any goal is ever a cheap one, but you know what I mean. They worked for theirs. They got them all at 5-on-5. Here's an opportunity. Tomko scores! Speaking of 5-on-5 goal scorers, Will Tomko can bury it with the best of them. His 15th goal of the season to lead this squad. And what a riser that was from the high slot. Peters Township leads at 1-0. Tomko's 15th goal, his 13th at even strength this year, and last year's AAA goal-scoring champion as a freshman is on that goal-a-game pace, even better as a sophomore. Tomko rings one up, and Peters Township once again strikes early. It's been a strength of theirs. When they win games, they can get control early and strangle the life out of it. Now it's Mertens. A chance. Stuffed it on goal. Rebound available. And it's flipped out into the slot and carried out of danger. Adam McFeely on the dump in into this near side corner. Rich Woods back to take for Peters Township. Gave it away, though. Back in behind Colin McFeely. McFeely has the return pass go past him. Malley confronts him. Hilbert sticks it along, and it's swatted up to the line, but no further. Held in there. McFeely on his backhand tried to make a pass over to the far side. He was looking for Dominic Keller, I believe it was. Now the Indians break back into 3-on-1. Here's a chance down the left side. A shot and a good save made on the chance for Austin Malley, who's no slouch himself. He can snipe it as well. Right up there with any of the players on PT as far as shooting ability, but he was denied there on that chance as he called his own number on the rush. Andrew Gialames back to handle. Pushed it around and tossed out the center. Glove down by John McShane on the move. The senior forward got around the edge. McShane looked to pull up, but he lost control of the puck. So PT, with a win tonight, would move into first place by itself with 22 points, one ahead of both North Allegheny and Seneca Valley. The Indians have just beaten North Allegheny and Seneca Valley in consecutive weeks, and they have 2 games in hand on those 2 squads. So if you were a betting person, I'd put some theoretical money, that is, I'll call it Bitcoin, on the Indians, because right now they're in nearly pole position. Whistle on a penalty, a cross-check coming up here. And we'll see which team's going short. I think it might be Upper St. Clair. Yes, the visitors' box is open. And so there you go. Peters Township now goes to its lethal power play, 14 for 36 on the season, nearly 40% conversion rate. It's been outstanding this year, and it hasn't allowed any shorthanded goals either. On top of all that, Tomko takes the face-off win. Shoveled along to Kovac, one of the top point getters in this league, and this rebounds off the post. Chance for Malley in front, the net front presence. Waist-high pass, Mertens, who had 2 goals against North Allegheny last week. It's out to Tomko. One-time shot goes over the bar from Kovac on that little redirection. Didn't really get a chance to put everything he had into it, but he was going for quickness over power, and it nearly worked. Tomko out by the line, does a pirouette to get away from Ruffner. I mentioned the 5 shorties he has, so watch out for the Panthers. They'll attack when they have the puck, but this time they simply clear. Hilbert back there. It's been a lot of Nolan Hilbert in recent weeks, as Rick Tingle, the head coach, goes to the guy who helped lead the team to the championship last year, the senior Hilbert, with a record of 5-1 now, ticking that save percentage up. But now it's Ruffner with a chance for a 6 shorthanded goal, and he's stopped. Breakaway, and he decided to shoot. I think he was going 5-hole on Hilbert, and he was denied. Plenty of action early on in this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in on a special night off the ice as the Peters Township 2002-03 championship team is being inducted into the Pennsylvania High School Hockey Hall of Fame, while this year's team tries to continue to make its mark, coming off a state championship of its own last year. Mertens, the captain of this squad, made the pass down low to Kovac, takes a look out to the point, feeds it to Tomko. Shot pass to the side of the goal, looking for Mertens, who was sneaking around to that near post, but he couldn't direct it on target. Now Ringwald, far side, over to Kovac. Tried to swing it through the crease, but that was broken up. Here's Tomko off to Kovac. Open man, Ringwald, put it off the glove of the goaltender Cottrell. Freshman goalie Timothy Cottrell, 5-1-1 record. And the Panthers get the clear after his key save kept it just 1-0. Panthers trying to survive until they get a 5th man on the ice. Meanwhile, Ringwald slows it down. Penalty is over. Peters Township now 14 for 37 on the season. They'll have to settle for that for right now. Jones dished it behind the goal. Got it right back to Troy Jones. Wanted to go to the front to Maeda, who had the winner last week against NA in 3-on-3 overtime. Jones, a strong move. Couldn't get by Gialames, though, as he checked him and pinned him to the wall momentarily. Flipped out off a stick, and down it goes to our left. Peters Township 1, Upper St. Clair nothing. Middle stages, first period. This is Matt Gajtka on the play-by-play. Thank you for joining us. We apologize for the technical difficulties at the end of the warm-up there, but we're off and rolling here and getting our skates under us, getting back to Printscape. We spent a lot of time here over the course of the fall and the winter, and hopefully a little bit in the early spring as well. Drag move, and a shot goes just wide from Stoliarski, that close to his 14th of the year. Stoliarski leads this squad with 28 points. That's second most in Class AAA, behind only Braden Sprickman, the sensational defenseman for Erie Cathedral Prep. Alexander left the puck behind, and it's picked up by Colin McCarthy. He sets sail and tosses in deep. Back to take it, Peters Township and Caven Fisher. He goes D to D and out it meanders to center ice. Headman pass, Ruffner looking. He just had that shorthanded breakaway that was stopped. Looked for all the world it was going to be his 6th shorthanded goal. Yes, 6th. Chance score! A wrister from Caputo rattles in off the body of Cottrell, and it's 2-0 from a sharp angle. Caputo, his 2nd goal of the year. He simply overpowered Cottrell from the outer edge of the left circle. 2-0 Peters Township, and the Tribe just keeps on rolling. So Tomko scores, and now it's the supporting cast. Charlie Caputo, 2nd goal, 5th point, with 6:51 to go in the first period. By the way, it was John McShane who was off for cross-checking. Didn't get the number earlier. That's the only penalty so far in this game. 2 even strength goals for Peters Township, a backhand chance. That's gobbled up by Cottrell on the opportunity for Kovac. Ben Kovac, I mentioned in the opener, but he scored the go-ahead goal shorthanded last week at Barrel Ice Complex, as called by my comrade Matt Popchuk, and Brian Mitchell was there too. Newpaver, shot pass toward the front, off a skate, and McFeely will clear for Upper St. Clair. But anyway, that looked like that was going to be the game winner, as PT rallied from 2-0 down to take a 3-2 lead with a minute and a half to go. But then North Allegheny scored in the last 10 seconds to send it to overtime. Pushed out in front, cleared away momentarily. Wesley Forrester now gets a second look at it. Senior D-man, first-year varsity player, though, couldn't get it out on the near side. So now the Indians will try the far. Kovac turned his shoulders and backhanded it up and swept free for Kovac to carry out. So he got the handoff from Tomko. Newpaver pushes it along. Cole Newpaver playing center on this first line. Couldn't take that pass, but it's on back to the point for a shot from Phillips that's into a body, a black shirt in front of the goal. One of the Panthers knocked it down, but they can't clear. Tomko to the front. Oh, he had Kovac wide open, and Kovac bends over in frustration as the pass zipped right by his stick and into the corner. And now it's dumped down for an icing against Upper St. Clair with 5:38 left in the first. Two 2-0 Peters Township, and PT trying to make it 3 wins in a row. They had a hiccup there before the new year. You'll recall they dropped games to Central Catholic, who we'll see in our second game of this doubleheader tonight. But PT fell to the Vikings on the road 5-0, first shutout loss in a couple of seasons, and then lost here 6-3 in come-from-ahead fashion against Pine Richland. PT had a 3-2 lead late in the second period of that game that we had here on 10-Band TV. Ruffner loads one up, and that's off the pad of Hilbert. Good save to the point. And Siniowski blasted one, but that hit a leg and deflected away safely into the corner. PT on the quick counter. Headman pass finds Mertens. He's got a man in the middle. That's Martin. Got a 2-and one-timer. Just missed the goal. Scooped up on the move by McFeely. Or pardon me, that's Ruffner actually. Big 7-7 for Upper St. Clair. Drop pass picked off by the back-checking Mertens. And he'll round his own goal to buy some time and space. And he does so effectively. Now under 5 to go in the first. Mertens, nice deft stick handling move to the inside, but then it drifted off his blade. And so it's Zach Hardy with 19 assists to lead the squad. Off to Ruffner. Overlapping here. And wiped out is Luke Fisher by Rich Woods, but a penalty is coming up. Fisher stepped onto the ice as part of a line change. And I think Peters Township's about to go shorthanded. They are. And it's Nathan D'Amico, senior, first-year varsity man. Puts PT short, and, well, their power play is terrific, Peters Township's, that is. So's the PK, 94%. They've only been scored on twice in 31 attempts on the season. One of those, in fact, was last week at North Allegheny. And they've scored one shorthanded goal as well, that by Ben Kovac. But Ruffner controls this faceoff on his backhand. Off to Hardy. Took the shot, save Hilbert, it was available, and it goes in the net. What a strange one there as Ringwald tried to clear it, and I think he might have put that in off the post himself. Either way, it all counts for Upper St. Clair. It's a 2-1 game. Let's take a look at this replay. I have a hard time figuring out how that went in. I think it was Ringwald shooting it off of something, but George Garces was right there in the crease, basically. He might have gotten a stick on that. If so, that's the senior's 4th goal of the year, all on the power play, if he is credited with that one. But I'm still unsure how that ended up in the net. It was an optical illusion. So USC gets a lifeline here. Now the Panthers break back again. Hilbert makes a stick save on the chance from Drew Lysak, the sophomore forward. Punch right to the front. Trying to find it there was Fisher. Ends up backhanding it below the goal line. That's where it's picked up by Alexander. Couldn't clear. Here's a chance for Lysak once and twice, and both times Hilbert comes up with the saves. Alexander battling back there with Joey Wateska. Wateska, junior defenseman. He's played a lot this year. In fact, he's one of just a couple of Indians who haven't missed a game at all, but a penalty on the way, a cross-checking call, another one, and suddenly the penalty box doors are revolving, it appears. But this is going to be against Peters Township again, and Upper St. Clair immediately has a chance to tie this game up. Drew Alexander will have a seat for the cross-check, and on first glance at the live box score on PIHLHockey.com, George Garces has gotten credit for the goal. I think it did go off his stick as Ringwald wanted to clear it to the side. Just one of those fluky plays. Not really an own goal, but I guess own goal adjacent. Siniarski for a shot, or Stawiarski, pardon me, and he's stopped by Hilbert, who holds onto it with that glove hand. Those black pads, a non-traditional look in hockey. Usually the goalies go with the light-colored pads so they look bigger. At least that was the thought 10, 15 years ago. You'll recall Marc-Andre Fleury, the Penguins, switched his pad color from bright yellow, Pittsburgh gold, if you will, to white on the suggestion of an optometrist from Ottawa who wrote him a letter. Of all things. Hey, if anyone would know, it would be him, right? Here's Martin clearing for Peters Township. Meanwhile, back at South Point, Upper St. Clair has an opportunity here on the power play. Its second chance of this first period. As time dwindles down to 3.5 and under to go before the buzzer. Garces on the give. Aaron Stawiarski pulls up to the front of the net and swatted away to the sidewall by Garces. That was strategic, though, because he knew on the power play, you put it to open space, good chance that your guys are going to get to it before their guys. Hardy, forced to make a tentative pass. Stawiarski had it stripped, and it's pushed out beyond the blue line. So Aaron Stawiarski's got to double back for it, but he makes a good pass here that's stubbed on the way by Keller. Turning chance in the slot. Goes wide of the goal from Garces, hunting his second goal of this period. Trying to knot this one up. Good play there by Ruffner, stretching out, diving down, now side of the net. Hilbert trying to get over, and he makes a great save on the chance for Stawiarski. What a stop, and the net is knocked off its pegs with 2:30 left in the first period. What a fantastic game it's been so far. 3 goals in the net already, some close calls at both ends. Goaltenders have been heard from as well. Alexander in the box still for another 10 seconds or so. Turning chance off the face-off win by Derek Schuster. That one's denied by Hilbert. Fed down the ice. On the chase here, Gregory Timmons, wearing number 1. Now Gialames, his defense partner. Takes it, stick handles, feeds ahead. For the carry-in by Lysak. Right to the front of the net with that pass. Looking for a Schuster, but it sticked away. And he's trying to hang on and get back to Even strength, Gialames looked to be close to offside. Play continues on. He picks his way in behind the goal line. Now to the corner, he hands off. Lysak out to the line. Wrister blocked. And here comes Chance back the other way. Wrister off the outside of the net from Maui. And that's gobbled up, jumped on top of, in fact, by Timothy Cottrell at the side of his net with 1:40 to go in the first period. Still a 2-1 Peters Township lead. PT's going to put its top guns out there in Kovac and Tomko, and now Caputo, who has also scored in this first period. We're back to 5-on-5. Off the jam up, Caputo, centering Kovac, got the shot off. Where is it? It's behind the goaltender, but it's under him. He fell back on top of it. Did Timothy Cottrell, with some help from one of his teammates. Looked to be Colin McCarthy, who was playing second goaltender back there right on the goal line, making sure the puck didn't squirt through. So Peters Township kills off the power play. Upper St. Clair now 1 for 2 on the night. Peters Township 0 for 1, but Peters Township has the 2-1 lead, as you see there. A couple of even strength goals. About 6 minutes apart, less than that. Lead pass, oh my, Ruffner was ahead for a breakaway, couldn't take the feed, and instead it's an icing. Must not have touched it, I thought he did. So back it comes into Panthers real estate. Ruffner against Tomko at the right-handed dot. And Tomko, clean win. Woods wristing. That's off of Kovac's skate. It's blocked over to the sidewall. Turned over, though. Stuff try from behind the goal goes in. Oh, what a chance and what a goal for Tomko. He went for the power move there. Once and twice he cracked it from the side of the net, and the second chance went in for a 3-1 lead with 1:14 to go before intermission. And he did that all himself, as you see here. Picked it off, and on the follow-up, on his own rebound, he popped it over the pad of Cottrell. The goaltender was there, but just too much tenacity. And Upper St. Clair couldn't get Tomko's stick tied up. Tomko's second goal of this period, 16th of the year. Here in game number 14. So he continues to stay ahead of that goal per game pace. He's been right around there all season long. Remarkably consistent. Martin clears a pass to the corner on the far side. Maui got it back inadvertently there off the mishandle from Mertens. Now Maui leans in to steal it away. Flicked it down the wall. Did Austin Maui. Played it by Garces. Now tossed back out to the point. Under a minute to go. Ringwald shooting glove down and kept by Cottrell. Shots are even 8 apiece. But Peters Township has the 3-1 lead. Mertens against Ruffner. At the face-off dot, Ryder Mertens starting to pile up the points. Now has 9 goals on the year to go with 9 assists. 5 of those goals on the power play, 4 of those assists on the power play. So he has 9 of his 18 points on the advantage, does Mertens. Here working during 5-on-5 play, though. Angle pass, it's a good one. Finds Zach Hardy. Ends up behind the goal, eludes a shoulder check there. Hardy dished it behind Ringwald. Oh, what a pass in front, score! That line does it again. Ruffner with a basic tap-in. As it turned out, Aaron Stawiarski put it on a platter with a behind-the-back backhand pass from behind the net. Take a second look at this one. Roll the highlight reel again for this trio. Hardy behind the net, Stawiarski, and you saw it. He gave it a look over his shoulder. He knew 77 was going to be right there on the doorstep. It's 3-2. The quick answer for Upper St. Clair. Oh, this one could be a dandy all the way down to the wire. It's looking like it right now. Lysak pulls it ahead for Upper St. Clair. His first shot blocked. Second chance. Hilbert hangs on to it as he pins it to his side. Hope you like offense. It's looking like that kind of night, at least to start here at South Point. And John McShane was jawing with the goaltender Hilbert there, at least I thought it was some jawing. Maybe it was just some friendly banter. We don't have the players mic'd up, unfortunately, so we couldn't tell you. Off the draw, Troy Jones yanked it back. Good to see Troy back on the ice after a couple of games out. Drag move, and it's a 2-on-1. Jones on his backhand, and what's this call? Offside, I think. Oh, boy, what an opportunity that goes begging for PT. Trying to fight back after giving up the second goal. Ruffner from Stawiarski and Hardy is the official scoring, but we could have told you that just from watching the replay. Those three score so many goals in combination plays like that. Selling in behind his net, Forrester, he's just trying to kill some time, and he does successfully as the clock runs out in the first period. What a period it was. Upper St. Clair trying to continue to climb the PIHL AAA standings. Meanwhile, Peters Township, with a win, moves into first. Nothing's decided, really, so far. Peters Township 3, Upper St. Clair 2. Back after this short break on 10 Band TV. Stay with us. Hope you had a chance to catch your breath. I know I did. Just a brief one, though, between the first and second periods in PIHL hockey. No ice cut between the first two frames. Then we do have the full intermission between the second and the third. And we will have a special presentation honoring some members of the 2002-03 Peters Township Championship team, Penguins Cup and State Championship team, I should say, in Class AA. Pretty much ever since then, though, they've been residents of AAA because of their success at that lower level. And the Holy Ghost prep coach that year, the team that Peters Township beat 9-3 in the state final, he said that Peters Township team was better than any AAA team in the state that year in his estimation. So looking forward to that. Try to clear the full screen graphic here, get back to action in the second period. Sorry about that. Here we go as Ruffner does a pirouette. On the button hook, his pass was blocked down, and back comes Peters Township. Tomko, good pass, diagonal, looking for Newpaver, but it's off his skate. Couldn't quite handle it there in the scoring area. Now Ben Kovac leans in against Garces, and Kovac pries that puck away. Early stages, second period. Plenty of offense in the first, as you saw. Now Hudson Phillips swinging to the outside. His dish broken up, bouncing around. Stub shot from Tomko. Never got to the front of the net. And a bouncing puck ends up at center ice. Just more than a minute into this second period. We play 17-minute periods in Pennsylvania high school hockey. A bouncing backhand from 60 feet by Tomko right into the breadbasket of Cottrell. He hangs on. Going down to the butterfly. So Cottrell, well, he's had better periods this season, but he's just down a goal. Upper St. Clair outshot PT 10-9 in that first, according to the official scores. Goals in that first from Tomko, 2 of them for Peters Township, and Charlie Caputo also cashing in. Garces and Ruffner for Upper St. Clair. If you're joining us late, and the Ruffner goal was another classic combination passing play between he, Aaron Stawiarski, and Zach Hardy. Martin with an opportunity, and he stopped on his off wing. Had a great angle, but put it right into the U logo on the chest of Cottrell. Martin down the wall, trying to knock it over to Mertens. It's a law firm of Martin and Mertens out there right now alongside Malley. Oh, I could have thrown that one in there too. Martin, Mertens, and Malley. Not quite Shenderovich, and Fishman, but we'll get there. Those guys are still just building their resumes. Malley touches it along. Here's Mertens. Pulling it to the outside, a shot save. Rebound. It's right there for Malley, but he can't dig it out of his feet. Colin McFeely, his backhand couldn't clear. Held by Fisher at the point. Now Malley back in front. Oh my, how'd that not go in? Martin got a hard shot off. I think it ricocheted off the stick of the goaltender, Cottrell. Now to the front of the net. Cottrell kicks it along and away from Martin and the Indians, and it's cleared. Oh my, Peters Township that close to goal number 4. It's icing against Upper St. Clair, but it stays 3-2. Early stages, second period. The action continues. This has been as fast and furious of an offensive hockey game as I've called this year. Just happy to be along for the ride. This is Matt Gajtka on the play-by-play. Todd Kazarowski and crew are there for Team 10-Band TV. And they'll be here, along with me, all night long, as we have in the second game, Ken and Mac hosting Central Catholic. Drew Alexander takes a look from behind the goal. Swirls it to the outside. Troy Jones, good move and a shot. And I think he just missed that one clean. I don't believe Cottrell got a piece. Hard to tell from this angle, though. Didn't hear anything. Back to the line. Kobe Ringwald. Shot it around the wood. Timmons catches up to it. Goes under his stick now. Maeda having a look on the pass. Trying to find the power forward Jones at the top of the crease, but no dice. McShane parading back. McShane for the tie, and he misfired into the right corner. Lysak. McShane in the middle. Wanted to pass it to himself. Didn't quite work out. Good read there from Ringwald, the alternate captain of the Indians. Square pass over here to Alexander. He filters in deep. Alexander colliding with Garces. Rips it away from his reach. Garces takes it back, though. And the Panthers captain forced it out to center ice. Charging down the wall is Hudson Phillips. Had to wait to get that number. Just a couple of the single-digit numbers on PT. Hudson Phillips, I think the only one in the lineup, in fact, tonight. And a delayed call coming up. I think Peters Township's about to go short again for the third time. Yes, the goaltender Cottrell for Upper St. Clair was halfway to the bench, maybe a third of the way. Didn't quite get there. Phillips called for the cross-check. Upper St. Clair engages its power play for the third time. Now 9 for 39, or 9 for 40, on the season. That's 22%, third best in Class AAA. They've given up 3 shorthanded goals, though. Something to keep an eye on. Garces going to the front. The defenseman plays the net front here on the power play. Unique twist for Coach David Stock's squad. Hardy gets a return pass at the blue. Thought about going to the right. Now, well, he will go to the right. Spinning and feeding on the far side. Stawiarski to the middle. And a hack play from Dominic Keller couldn't get it on goal. And now it's melted down by Hilbert at the side of his net. Ruffner, Stawiarski, Hardy, as you would expect, and then Garces and Keller. So really, it's 5 forwards out there since Garces is not playing as a defenseman, which he does during even strength play. Selling out for offense, that's for sure. This Panthers team has now put in 49 goals on the year. Peters Township leads Class AAA with 65, to put it in perspective. It was a slow start for Upper St. Clair, but they've gotten the attack rolling recently with the 4 straight wins. Ruffner, what a move, and he just missed. He shot against the grain. Feel like saying he did the hard part and then couldn't polish it off. But of course, the moment of truth is always that finish. and it was lacking there. Turned over. Kovac, owner of the only shorthanded goal for the Indians this season. Couldn't make anything happen there. Well, at least initially, but he's keeping the puck deep in Upper St. Clair territory as he worked over Hardy. Stawiarski pulls this out of his skates deftly to avoid the offside. Dropped it back. Second minute of this power play now. Stawiarski emerges from behind the goal, made the pass out to Hardy at the point. Cross-rink Ruffner into the middle. Stawiarski scores. It's 3-3. What a pass. And again, it's Hardy to Ruffner to Stawiarski this time. But those three connect again. It's a potent trio. And speaking of trios, we're tied 3-3. 11:18 to go in the second period. And talk about a buried shot from Stawiarski, his 14th goal of the year and third on the power play. So Peters Township had a 3-1 lead. Well, they had a 2-0 lead too. And Upper St. Clair has stayed tenacious, and here we are, all square again. First time we're tied since the opening 4 minutes of this game. Up ahead, McShane couldn't flag down this aerial pass. So that's a rarity there. PT gives up just its third power play goal of the season against. That the 34th opportunity for the opposition overall on the season. So still well over 90%, but in the context of this game, that's a big goal for USC. So here's Malley on the toss. By the way, this game brought to you by Donaldson Supply Company on 10-Band TV. Martin with a nifty shot, put it between the legs of the defender Timmins. Cottrell had to be sharp to stop that, almost an unconscious save. I don't think he saw it until the last second. Turned over at the point. Malley kept it in somehow, and he ringed that one off the glass. Back with it come the Panthers. Headman feed, Lysak, long-range wrister, and it's off the stick of Hilbert and up into the screen over the high glass, down to our right. So Stawiarski, Ruffner, and Garces, the goals for Upper St. Clair. Tomko, 2, and Caputo, 1 for PT. Peters Township, coached by Rick Tingle. PT's got a record of 10-3 coming in. They've won 2 in a row against the top 2 squads in the division, in the class. And as I've said a couple of times tonight, they're on the verge of taking over first place if they can get 2 points tonight. In fact, an overtime loss would get them into a tie for first place. But, of course, they're not thinking that way. It is a consolation prize, though. You won't hear me call it the loser point. It's well earned if you get to overtime tied. You get the point for the regulation tie, not for losing. That's the way I always looked at it. Some may disagree, of course. On the far wing, Caven Fisher steps to and knocked it into the attacking zone. Kept it from going too far for an icing, so an effective dump-in. But turning to look up ice, Colin McCarthy for Upper St. Clair, and the Panthers can break it out smoothly. Shot in by Andrew Gialames. He of the 4 assists to lead the defense corps. Breaking back, a shot from Newpaver goes wide. Maeda, Alexander, they both overskate. And gunned in again by Fisher, just wide of the goal. Gialames takes it with 9 to go, exactly, in the second period. McFeely turned and wrenched a pass back against the grain, but it's turned over to the Indians. And here's Forrester on the bouncer, up into the Panthers zone. Hard play off the wall from Gialames, and right back to the blue line for a shoot-in by Derek Schuster. Schuster's in there with Colin McFeely, but the Indians poke it right by them, and here's Jones, a strong move. Jones, Indians are onside, but he could not quite corral that puck. Really good defensive play, in fact, from Timmins to just push him too far to the outside. Now Fisher with a drive, that missed. Back out in front of the goal, bouncing around in the slot, and scooped up by the black-shirted Panthers. And here they are again. Snapshot from Hardy. That missed the target. Number 1 line's back out there for Upper St. Clair. It's Stawiarski protecting. Boy, he looks like a seasoned pro with that puck on his stick, does he not? Head always up. Shagan Siniowski with a dish across. Here comes the shot. Hilbert stopped that, but the rebound was available. But it's picked up by the Indians and cleared off the boards. Hardy. He's run into by Newpaver. Chance for Caputo again. Oh, he almost rattled in a second one in this game. Similar type of a play, in fact. Dished around the boards by Jones. Out to Fisher. Now back to Troy Jones. Passing the skates of Alexander, though, as he was cutting toward the net. And it's picked off by Colin Ruffner of Upper St. Clair. Hardy. Drop pass. Stawiarski has a chance. Couldn't get the first shot off. Second one was blocked. Good defending there from Peters Township for a while. It looked like Stawiarski was going to be able to create something, backing them down. Now down to 7 minutes to go in a quickly elapsing second period. Plenty of action again. Only one goal on the board, that belonging to the Panthers. Here's a look from a sharp angle. That's off the shoulder of the goaltender, Cottrell. Blink and you'll miss an opportunity in this game. This has been high-level high school hockey. Kovac poking it behind the goal a couple of times. Kovac's got it. Tomko's there in puck support, but the puck never came to it. Taken on by Ruffner. End of a shift for him, perhaps. Dumped it right to the side of the goal. Nolan Hilbert handed it off. The senior goalie looks on as the Indians make an errant pass. Still, they cleared the zone. Ringwald gets a second try from this near corner. He'll skate it in behind the net. Feed it on the far side for Rich Woods, but he couldn't clear. Panthers closing down the walls right now. Gialames tying up on the far wing with Martin. Kovac's still out there, so is Tomko, but Martin has replaced the center on that line. And icing called against Peters Township, one of the few icings we've seen against either side in this game. That's usually a pretty good indicator of the quality of play. Nothing too sloppy. We've seen a lot of good stuff from both sides. So for St. Clair, actually, pardon me, they have 2 power play goals in this game. I had them down for 1, I think, a moment ago, but they have scored twice against Peters Township. So now that's 4 against on the season for PT on 34 opportunities. So that percentage drops below 90%. I think for the first time all season. Has to be because they had a perfect streak going for a while. Malley trying to beat Shagan Siniowski to the outside. That's broken up and it's offside. So we'll face it off in the neutral zone here. Just under 6 to play in the second. If you're tuning in looking for Central Catholic versus Canon Mac, that's the second game of the doubleheader. Slated to face off at 9 o'clock or whereabouts. Central Catholic at 9-5-1, 4th place. In fact, just 2 points behind Peters Township, or 1 point behind Peters Township for that third spot. Canon Mac, meanwhile, not officially eliminated from the playoff race, but the Big Macs need a lifeline. They're 2-10-1. They've dropped 5 straight. They're firmly in 11th place with just 5 points. They're 6 behind the 8th and final playoff spot, currently held by Baldwin. Here's Mertens. Again, coming off that 2-goal game last week. Saucer pass right to the front. Too high for Malley to knock down, although he tried. Would have taken some tennis skill there, and I guess it is the week of the Australian Open. First couple of rounds. Why not? In front of the goal, Martin. And he slugged that wide of the goal. Awkward play. The pass was in his skates a bit. Couldn't quite make anything happen from that. Ringwald saunters down into the corner. Makes the pass out to Mertens. Takes a look. Back to Ringwald. Drifted away from him, though, with 5 to go in the second period. Ringwald just slowing down the pace here. Being patient. Martin to the front. Malley taking a hack at it. Couldn't get it free. Mertens going in there. So is Martin. And it's under the goaltender, Cottrell. So the 3M line, maybe we'll call them that, generates some pressure at the front of the net. A half chance or two with an assist from Kobe Ringwald as well on the blue line. Porter Erb goes out there with D'Amico and Caputo after the line change. Wateska and Phillips, your defensemen for Rick Tingle tonight, or right now on the ice. 2 of the 6D. Wateska blasted off the near wall. D'Amico on the charge. Can't quite get there. Erb pressuring. Here's Caputo now. Charlie Caputo, another one of the power forwards on this PT squad, over 6 feet tall. Caputo, a junior, still have another year coming up. In a 3-3 game, the battle's on now on the Peters Township end. Herb makes a saucer play on the backhand. Caputo couldn't quite keep it cleanly. Garces held the line for Upper St. Clair. Gajtka. Now Herb gets it out to center ice. On the regroup, Phillips hammers it off the wall, but it's intercepted by Garces. Up into the zone with a shot, and it knuckled into the paraphernalia of Hilbert, right at the top of his crease. 4:02 left in the second. So the pace just slowing down a tad. We're not seeing as many end-to-end rushes. We had 5 combined goals in the first period, just 1 here in the second. That's scored by Aaron Stawiarski on the power play on a cross ice pass from Colin Ruffner that was right on the button. Speak of him, there is Ruffner. He'll be facing it off against Alexander. To Stawiarski, flutters a shot. That missed. Might have been off a stick of a Peters Township defender. Stawiarski catches up to it. Relayed in the corner to Ruffner. Lost control as it's popped loose by Peters Township. Stawiarski with a rising shot. Wide of the blocker hand of Hilbert. Bobbled out to the line. Timmons couldn't keep it alive for Upper St. Clair. Here are the Indians again. It's Troy Jones taking a shot. Kicked out by Cottrell and away from the man on the far side, Luca Maeda, who strips it away from the defender. Maeda now up the boards, Forrester. Knocked it along, Troy Jones. Pass to the middle. Ends up into the corner. Jones hacking at it. Fisher couldn't keep it. Here's a look now for Ruffner's shot, and Hilbert holds the fort. Ruffner trying to pick the pocket from behind, and a chance on this side from McCarthy, and he put it over the crossbar. Sneaky opportunity there. One of the Panthers went down. I don't think a penalty is coming up. Hilbert makes another save on the long-distance blast. Alexander striding through center ice, pulls up over the line. Wanted to drop it back, but it's picked off and cleared. Maybe a 2-on-1 if the Panthers hurry. A dish toward the front, and look at that backtrack from Ringwald to knock it away from Adam McFeely. Back we go the other way. In front of the goal. Oh my, Malley knocked off stride, and the net comes off on that pass from Kovac. Wow. I know our camera operator is getting a workout with 2:28 left in the second. The faceoff, I think, will come up in the attacking zone for Peters Township. PT coming off an overtime game, which it won 4-3 at North Allegheny. No, the faceoff will be in neutral ice, and Todd Hendry is going to handle this one. Our good friend Todd, RMU grad. Simply adds to the legendary status. By the way, congrats to the RMU College Hockey Foundation for putting on that celebrity game in Cranberry. Back to that in a second as Tomko looks for the hat trick, and he's stopped by Cottrell on the right wing rush. Tomko one more time, delays, backhands, and it's deflected into the near side corner. Tomko runs over one of the Panthers there. You don't often see him throw the shoulder like that, but it was effective there. Another chance from the angle. That one goes off the shoulder of Cottrell on the rip from Newpaver. McShane wanted to deke to the outside. No sale. Porter Herb, or pardon me, that's Ben Kovac, I should say. He's denied on the reaching backhand with 1:30 left before the Zamboni does its thing. Ringwald reaching in against Garces. Puck's on the far side wall. Here's a look and a save by Cottrell on the opportunity for Newpaver. 1:13 remaining. As I was saying, though, the Robert Morris University Division I men's and women's hockey teams are coming back due to a fantastic fundraising effort. No other way to put it. And the celebrity game that was held at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex up in Cranberry this past Sunday was a success, much like last year's celebrity game, which I had the opportunity to participate in as a alum of the RMU program, if you will, sports information director. But really awesome to see college hockey coming back in full force in Western PA. But here's a chance for Ruffner, and Stawiarski rather. He put it over the crossbar. He had Ruffner in tow. Ruffner, Stawiarski pulls and shoots, and he just missed the right post. Another threat here from this threesome. It's Hardy turning this way and that. Fed it to the corner for Ruffner. It drifted off his stick. Gajtka trying to clear it. Got it up to D'Amico. Or Martin, pardon me. Martin on the handoff to Mertens. Half a minute left in the second period. Ryder Mertens couldn't find a man. He had Malley in tow right behind him. But that one didn't work. 20 seconds left. High toss out the center. Nearly hit the center-hung scoreboard here at Printscape Arena, formerly known as the Isoplex. Timmins chases his own shoot-around with 10 seconds, but he couldn't get there. Gajtka to Malley. Bounces a little bit away from him, but he makes the headman pass now. On to Martin. 2 seconds left. Got a backhand shot away that Cottrill butterflied into the corner, and we have a minor dust-up after the horn sounds ending the second period. Stawiarski just knocked down a member of the Peters Township squad. He's still down in the corner. That's Luca Maeda. Or no, it's not. That was Camden Martin. Gotten those two confused a couple of times tonight. Must be similar haircuts and similar in stature and handedness as well. Okay, so USC, Upper St. Clair gets the only goal of that second period. The two teams are separated, and they'll adjourn to their respective locker rooms for the intermission between the second and third periods. Coming up, though, we'll have some more content for you live on site as some members of the 2002-03 Peters Township Penguins Cup and State Championship team, which is being honored tonight and inducted into the Pennsylvania High School Hockey Hall of Fame. We'll be hearing from them in just a little bit, so stay with us on 10 Band TV. Great game so far, 3-3, and even more to come off the ice as well. So keep it right here from Printscape Arena.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole, and more. Got everything I need and it's right.
All across the United States, each state has what's called an immunization information system. Immunization information systems, or IIS, are confidential, population-based, computerized databases that record all immunization doses administered by participating providers to persons residing within a given geopolitical area. In the United States, every vaccination registry is a bit different, which can become daunting and confusing. Enter PubHub. PubHub solves this issue by giving its providers the ability to connect and communicate to the state registry with one connection and one data format. For example, if a patient has received the COVID-19 vaccine, PubHub allows the provider to see if the patient has already received the vaccine, keeping everything safe and organized for everyone.
2 jumbo iced caramel drizzle peppermint mochaccino.
Extra caramel?
That's us.
I'd love to join you guys at the beach house for a few days, but between my job and the kids, it's just not that easy. Not to mention, how am I squeezing into a bikini after this winter?
Keeping off extra pounds while balancing a family and a career can be tough. And 500-calorie coffees won't get you there either. Weight Loss Direct provides a 24/7 support and one-on-one coaching to keep you on track and guarantee you success and health. Start your journey at weightlossdirect.com.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole and more. Got everything I need and it's right.
All across the United States, each state has what's called an immunization information system. Immunization information systems, or IIS, are confidential, population-based, computerized databases that record all immunization doses administered by participating providers to persons residing within a given geopolitical area. In the United States, every vaccination registry is a bit different, which can become daunting and confusing. Enter PubHub. PubHub solves this issue by giving its providers the ability to connect and communicate to the state registry with one connection and one data format. For example, if a patient has received the COVID-19 vaccine, PubHub allows the provider to see if the patient has already received the vaccine, keeping everything safe and organized for everyone.
Two jumbo iced caramel drizzle peppermint mochaccino.
Extra caramel?
That's us.
I'd love to join you guys at the beach house for a few days, but between my job and the kids, it's just not that easy. Not to mention, how am I squeezing into a bikini after this winter?
Keeping off extra pounds while balancing a family and a career can be tough. And 500-calorie coffees won't get you there either. Weight Loss Direct provides a 24/7 support and one-on-one coaching to keep you on track and guarantee you success and health. Start your journey at weightlossdirect.com.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. everything I need, and it's right.
All across the United States, each state has what's called an immunization information system. Immunization information systems, or IIS, are confidential, population-based, computerized databases that record all immunization doses administered by participating providers to persons residing within a given geopolitical area. In the United States, every vaccination registry is a bit different, which can become daunting and confusing. Enter PubHub. PubHub solves this issue by giving its providers the ability to connect and communicate to the state registry with one connection and one data format. For example, if a patient has received the COVID-19 vaccine, PubHub allows the provider to see if the patient has already received the vaccine, keeping everything safe and organized for everyone.
Just about set to start the third period from Printscape Arena here in South Point, Pennsylvania, just off Interstate 79, just north of Cannonsburg. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is 10 Band TV and our presentation of the PIHL. This is Game 1 of our high school hockey night live doubleheader. Game 2 will feature Ken Mack hosting Central Catholic. As for right now, though, still everything to settle in this one. Peters Township, with a win tonight, would move into first place in the AAA standings, but Upper St. Clair hunting its fifth consecutive victory and trying to climb into the top half of the AAA standings. We're all tied up 3-3, but a little scoring update here, one of consequence. Zach Hardy took a penalty right at the 17-minute mark of the second period. At least as far as I can tell, that's the only penalty of that sequence. And so Peters Township will start the third with a fresh sheet of ice and on the power play, trying to counter the tying goal by Aaron Stawiarski on the power play midway through that second period. All right, so Will Tomko has a couple of unassisted goals for Peters Township. Charlie Caputo also scored for PT. Peters Township led 2-0 and 3-1 in the first period. George Garces and Stawiarski scored power play goals, though, for Upper St. Clair, and Colin Ruffner connected at 5-on-5 to pull the Panthers back even. But now David Stock's team will start the third shorthanded, as I said, short for the second time in this game. They killed off the first power play for Peters Township, but this is not a power play you want to be messing with. There you see the referees, Hendry and Scrates, talking things over at the bench. I'm sure that the coaching staff, led by Stock, wanted an explanation for why there was only one penalty called from that end of period scrum. Hardy gets 2 for roughing, and that's it. I mentioned I did see Camden Martin of Peters Township get knocked on his backside in that scrum. Usually that kind of thing ends up being a penalty because it just naturally catches the eye of the referees. So that discussion appears to be wrapping up here as PT is going to send its best 5 out there, at least as far as scoring goals is concerned. They'll have Mertens with Tomko, Kovac, Malley, and I'm assuming Kobe Ringwald on the back as well. Haven't seen him on screen yet. Yes, there he is. So it's a 5-on-4. Peters Township's power play, which has essentially led Class AAA all season long, gets a chance to break the deadlock in this critical, you can call it a late season game. Game 14 for Peters Township and game 13 for Upper St. Clair. Two squads who actually have some games in hand on essentially the entire 11-team field outside of themselves. Cross-rink dishes a saucer pass on the mark from Ringwald over to Kovac. He would try to go cross-rink again to Mertens, but that was broken up and swatted down the length of the rink by the Panthers. The Panthers have 5 shorthanded goals, all scored, 6 shorthanded goals. Hard to believe that many in just 12 games played, but 5 of them scored by Colin Ruffner, who has a goal in this game, albeit at even strength. Back to the line in Ringwald. Now Tomko bunts it over. Here's a chance for Kovac from a sharp angle. He put it on net, and Timothy Cottrell, the freshman goalie, made the save there. Tomko, he scored from that spot in the first period, but he's blocked there. Kovac pushed to the wall by Ruffner. He's the dangerous one to look out for at the top of that penalty-killing formation. Kovac tees one up, and he missed it high. Ringwald, though, picks it cleanly off the wall. Fresh ice out there for Peters Township. Can be overrated at times, but PT's done a good job setting up quickly. Usually that's the hardest part starting a period. Tomko's wrister weakened on the way, but not cleared. Ringwald using his right skate to knock it down and keep it and shoot it, and Cottrell blocks it away to the corner. From there, it's Malley. Has a look toward the front. Nothing there. He kicks it along, but that's taken off. Away, by Ruffner. And Ruffner now out to Stariarski. Ahead of the pack. Stariarski backhand score! Aaron Stariarski, short-handed goal. The Panthers' 7th of the season to lead the league. And they turn the tables on the Indians to start this third period. Stariarski picked off that play, that kick pass attempt from Malley. And then Stariarski knocked it to himself off the boards, and there you see the smooth move to the backhand for the finish. Just 1 minute and 48 seconds into the third. So Upper St. Clair has 2 power play goals, an even strength goal, and a shorthanded goal. And PT gives up its first shorthanded goal of the season on top of all of that. 3 straight tallies for the Panthers to take the lead, and there's not going to be enough time for PT to do anything on this man advantage. So they go 0 for 2, and to boot, they allow the shorty, Stariarski, second of the game, 15th of the season, 2 behind Ruffner for the team lead, and 1 behind Will Tomko of Peters Township. This is icing against the Indians. I'm trying to avoid getting a little rattled by that. Aaron Stariarski, what a player. What a scorer. He gets it done again to give the Panthers their first lead of this game. Garces lines this shot up, but it's well off target. Phillips forced him to gun it wide, lest it be blocked. Wateska on the 5-foot feed, trying to find Maeda, so now it's on Peters Township to get back to what they were doing earlier in the game. They made some things happen, and even though in this game the shots are even, 22 apiece, feels like Peters Township has had the better of play, or had the better of play, at least early on. But Upper St. Clair potent offensively. They stayed in it, got that second goal to make it 3-2 going into the break after the first period. That feels like a significant moment in this game when Ruffner scored from Stariarski. So a 3-point night for Stariarski, 2 goals and an assist. 2 assists each for Ruffner and Hardy on that top line. Here's an intercept by Keller. Dominic Keller wanted to swing it in front and did, but it's picked off by Phillips. One hand on his stick. He pushed it along to Jones, but he coughed it up. Just more than 3 minutes into this third period. Peters Township trailing for the first time in this game. PT, well, last week they were down 2-0 going into the final 6 minutes at North Allegheny, at Barrel. up in Warrendale, and they scored 3 in the final 6 to actually take a lead briefly before NA forced overtime, but then Peters Township won it in overtime. Here's a break back for Cole Newpaver, the freshman center. Shot it low, and a pad save by the fellow 9th grader, Timothy Cottrell. Loose puck high in the zone. Erb swings it along to Alexander. He left it behind. Newpaver tries to follow on. Newpaver has it. Pulls it to his stick. Ripped one off the blocker of Cottrell. Still free Alexander. And a glove ends up in the net, but not the puck. Save made by Cottrell, and he keeps it. That is Porter Erb's glove. .12:53 left in regulation. Can Upper St. Clair win its 5th in a row? It's beaten Cannon McMillan twice in this 4-game winning streak. Also Mount Lebo and Baldwin. Timothy Cottrell's been a big part of that resurgence. He won't get a gaudy stat line in this one, but so far enough to get in the lead in the 3rd period as Kovac has that pass go right under his stick coming out of the corner from Malley. Kovac trying to take that one. Actually, that was Tomko who made that pass, and Tomko made that pass too. Kovac, though, slammed into and lost control. Stawiarski on the shoot-in for Upper St. Clair. Watch out for these Panthers. I've been impressed the 2 times I've seen them. They ran away with it last month on 10-Band TV, 5-0 against Cannon Mac. Tonight, much more of a battle. This one's icing against the Panthers, but Upper St. Clair looking just as strong. This is a team that lost earlier in the year, 9-5 to North Allegheny, 6-1 to Cathedral Prep, 7-1 to Seneca Valley. So they've thrown in their stinkers for sure, but they've gotten the offense rolling. The defending has been much better. In fact, this is the first time they've given up 3 goals since that 7-1 loss to Seneca Valley 5 games ago, right before the start of this win streak. If they pull it off and get to 5 in a row, that's a quarter of the season in the PIHL. Gialames wanted to center it. He was crushed by Ringwald. That's going to be a penalty against Kobe Ringwald. And Kobe thought he executed a clean check there. I thought initially he did, but Andrew Gialames, the senior, is down and hurt on all 4s. And medical personnel will shuffle out as both teams adjourn to their benches. And Gialames is up on his skates, but not looking too steady at the moment. In fact, the member of the medical staff halts him right there. He wants to give him a quick check. Welfare report. Ringwald's off, and we'll see for how long. And the discussion is on. This will be our first penalty of the 3rd period, although that penalty from Hardy after time elapsed in the 2nd carried over to the 3rd, and leading to the shorthanded goal from Aaron Stawiarski that's put the Panthers ahead 4-3. Bears repeating the 7th shorthanded goal of the season for Upper St. Clair. All right, penalty time on the board. It's time for the PT penalty kill to try to step up and keep this game, I don't want to say within reach, because even down 2 at this point is within reach, but keep it viable, keep it realistic. Stawiarski now on hat-trick watch. Fakes the pass, now he gave it to Hardy, now he got it back right to the front with that dish, and it's cleared, picked up and swept down the length of the rink. Ringwald in the box for Peters Township, so that hurts. He'd normally be out there for a penalty-killing situation for at least a shift. Ticking down toward 11 minutes to go in the 3rd. PT in trouble here. They've just got the 1 loss at home this season. That was to Pine Richland before the break. Just barely kept in by Hardy as he was pressured at the line. Zach Hardy, 2 assists in this game. Stawiarski, 1 touch, on to Ruffner, took the shot. Hilbert made the save. It rattles out of his glove, and Keller tried to shuffle it in front, could not, and it's gunned off the glass and down by PT. On the chase, Ryder Mertens gets there first, and he drew a penalty. A hooking call against Hardy, and Mertens centered it to Martin. Stopped by Cottrell, and there's the whistle and the stoppage in play. So Ringwald got 2 for boarding and a misconduct. I knew it was more than just the board. And now the power play is over for Upper St. Clair, and we'll play 4-on-4 for a brief time, and then PT will go to the advantage. That penalty at 6:23 of the third, hooking Ryder Mertens, who was the one who drew it. We'll play 4-on-4. Timmons bunted it over to the near side. Gialames looking no worse for the wear after he was the recipient of that boarding play from Ringwald. Gialames looks, he had a man in the middle, that was Schuster. Instead goes out to the line for a wrist shot. That was off the blocker hand of Hilbert, it appeared, and off the glass. And now into the clutches of Ben Kovac. The Indians' leading scorer, Kovac, right to the front. Score! 4-4 on a 4-on-4 goal. Ben Kovac got around the edge and then held it, and backhanded it behind the goaltender, Cottrell, to tie it up once more. Here's a second look. Cottrell just could not push all the way over, and all Kovac had to do was slide it in along the ice to knot this baby up. Great game from Printscape. Glad you could be here with us. 10:09 left. And since that was scored during the 4-on-4, it's not going to affect the play on the ice. PT's still going to get a power play out of this. Kovac pulling free. Kovac! Oh, he almost had the go-ahead goal. It's off the arm of Cottrell, and the net comes off as McCarthy banged into the frame. Things are getting crazy again. Kind of like in the first period when we saw 5 combined goals on the board. Still a few seconds before PT goes to the power play. McCarthy shovels it ahead, and Ruffner, he's in some open space. He'll try to go top shelf, but he missed that by a couple of inches high over the crossbar. Chopped along, off the stick of Forrester, back into his own end. There's Kovac, and Peters Township can rev up its power play. Third opportunity. Third chance here, and a chance to go ahead in this game once again. Kovac's making a beeline for the net, and he got that pass at the goal line. Could not do anything with it, but he latched onto it below the goal line. Tomko to Kovac. Working that familiar left circle. In front, Malley trying to pick it free. It's still loose in front of the net, but the whistle sounded, I believe. Yes, it did. And Malley was wondering where in the world was the puck. It was still free at the top of the crease. Ruffner pulled it out of Cottrell's equipment, but all for naught as we get the stoppage with 9:19 left in the third. And the tension is thick at the moment. An exchange of goals in this third period. One for Stawiarski, one for Kovac. The leading scorers on both teams, in fact, are heard from. Remember, Kobe Ringwald's in the box for the rest of this game, basically. Tomko takes that wrist shot. He has a heavy shot from out high. He gets a chance to press that weight down into the bottom hand and let fly. Look out. Kovac, and now overlapping is Malley. Austin Malley gave it to Kovac. He tucked it in behind the net. Ryder Mertens, maybe he's got another goal in him. Now it's Forrester. Oh, a good pass, I thought it was, but broken up by Rory Shagan-Siniowski. Deflected off the stick of Kovac. Down to the final 8 seconds of this abbreviated power play. PT on its third opportunity. And it's Tomko handcuffing Cottrell, but Cottrell eventually finds that puck at his feet, and he controls with 8:37 left. So we'll shortly be back to even strength in just a second here. Upper St. Clair gets out of it. And down to the final half of the third period. Dished on ahead. Ruffner again on that wing, and again he's stopped by Hilbert off the blocker. Ruffner's getting a lot of opportunities on the rush in this game. And the Panthers know how to hit him with speed, too. This is Stawiarski trying to connect to Ruffner. Ruffner with a goal in this game, 17 on the year. Seeing Tomko go toe-to-toe. Dished ahead, and there is that man again, Ruffner, pulling free. Ruffner, he scores his second goal of the game, and Upper St. Clair leads for the second time, 5-4. Again off the rush, Colin Ruffner, a deft backhand tuck job under the crossbar, beauty. As he got past Fisher, then it was him against the goaltender Hilbert. Hilbert tried the poke check, just not quite quick enough. Ruffner with an awesome move to stash it right under the bar. 5-4 your score. Ruffner's got 4 points in this game. Like I mentioned, now 18 goals on the year, over a goal per game. Woods knuckles a shot high. Now the only man that Ruffner trails in Class AAA is the Cathedral Prep defenseman Braden Sprickman, who has 23 goals. 23 in 15 games. This is Ruffner with 18 in his 13th game, almost to that level. But PT still has nearly half the period to answer back, and they'll start here with a offensive zone face-off after the icing. Tremendous game tonight. Got a little defensive in the second period, but we're back to the freewheeling feel of the first period. Just in time for the high leverage points of this one. Amir Al-Shalani. Now Keller has a look up. Pardon, that was Drew Lysak, I should say. Lysak getting in on the forward check. To the point, Shagan Siniowski bumped it down to McShane. He spun around, trying to make a little fancy play there. Didn't quite work out, but Upper St. Clair still keeps the puck in the offensive zone. Hilbert makes a save on a point shot to the line, and there's Rory Shagan Siniowski again. His pass to Keller was deflected, but Keller got to it first behind the goal line. That is Amir Al-Shalani getting a touch to it. And Upper St. Clair backs out. Timmins with 6.5 left. Angled it off the wall. Picked off by Peters Township. Mertens on the dump in. PT needs 1 to tie. 2 to win now. Tomko with a rip shot. That's off a leg and off the end boards. Tomko has 2 in this game. Ruffner has 2 in this game. Stawiarski has 2 in this game. Rich Woods on the back pedal. Just gave it right back to the Panthers. Hardy drops it as he gets in over the line. Ruffner trying to make a cross-ring pass. That deflected away. But again, kept it at the point. Good job by the defenseman McCarthy, and he has it here. McCarthy's pass, though, blocked and broken up. Tomko on the give on the far side. He tried to get it back there, but Hardy read that play. Little drop pass there from Malley. Didn't work out. And Stawiarski fencing and firing into the offensive zone. Long lead pass, too far for everybody. That's icing against Peters Township. So a mental error there brings the faceoff back down to our left with 5.5 remaining. Upper St. Clair trailed this one 3-1. But they've scored 4 of the next 5 past that juncture. George Garces got the lone assist on that Ruffner go-ahead goal. It came at 9:10 of this period. Essentially a breakaway. Didn't look like one at the blue line, but Ruffner churned those legs and got it going in a big way. Newpaper forces the turnover. Kovac coming off the wall, right out in front. Hat trick goal for Will Tomko, and we're tied at 5. Not so fast, says Peters Township. Kovac, the patience, and then the pinpoint feed through sticks and bodies right onto the tape of Tomko for the tap-in. And Tomko's got his 3rd in this game, 17 on the year for him. I guess it's one of those anything you can do, I can do better nights. So there you go with 5:06 left. We're tied for the 3rd time. It was 3-3, it was 4-4, and now it's 5-5. Another icing against PT. And are we looking at a 2nd consecutive overtime for Peters Township? Upper St. Clair has played just 1 overtime this year. That game went to a shootout, a 3-2 loss to North Allegheny. Stawiarski, well, he's trying for his 3rd, but that was blocked after the faceoff win. Boy, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen in the final 5 of regulation, let alone if we do get to overtime. One of the more unpredictable games we've seen, at least that I've seen this year. That's been a lot of fun. This one's icing against Upper St. Clair, though. So Tomko gets his 3rd. This one assisted, his first assisted goal of the night. And a bit of an oddity. Shots on goal, Peters Township 28, Upper St. Clair 27. It's about as close as it can get there, too. The only thing we haven't seen yet is a power play goal for Peters Township. There haven't been many games this year where they've been shut out in that area. Malley takes a step and rips one. Blocker save. Cottrell. Now Martin. Well, we hoped for an excellent game here to match the off-ice ceremony. Sorry we couldn't get you anything there between periods. Had some technical concerns there, but we wanted to once again congratulate the 2002-03 Peters Township State Championship and, of course, Penguins Cup Championship team, at that time in Class AA, as they blitzed the playoffs that year after posting an 18-2 record that 20 years ago this spring. One of the best teams in the history of the PIHL, and a team that is now inducted into the Pennsylvania High School Hockey Hall of Fame. You put this game in the Hall of Fame, maybe. Hardy trying to find the loose puck, and no one could find it for a second. But now it's chased into the corner. Woods battling there with Dominic Keller of Upper St. Clair. Now Hardy reaches in. Mishmash line right now. It's McShane with Hardy and Keller, I believe, in the corner. Yes, it is. Haven't seen this grouping out there unless I haven't been paying attention. Actually, that's Luke Fisher who pulls it free, but right to an Indian. And it's Ryder Mertens, the captain, pulling up, took a stick up high, lost control of the puck as a result. Play continues on. At least I thought it was a stick. I hesitate to officiate from this position, but sometimes you can't help it. Shot from Timmons goes wide of the goal. But now McShane wants to try and fire one in, and he missed. Had a good angle there on his off wing. Big bump between Fisher and Martin. Ends up with Peters Township in possession of the puck. Soft pass up the middle, though, deflected. We've seen a few of those tonight. PT's been a little sloppy coming out of its end. That was a theme in the first period. But now Mertens calms things down with some puck possession. However, Newpaver preceded him into the offensive zone. It's offside with just about 2.5 left in regulation time. Four combined goals in this third period, 2 apiece. Stawiarski shorthanded. Then it was Kovac at 4-on-4. Then Ruffner at even strength. And then Tomko to tie it up again at even strength for Peters Township. We've alternated the last 4 goals. Like I said, the third time we've been tied in this game. Tomko with Newpaver. Fed it to Newpaver, did Tomko, but it bounced away from him. Kind of a low percentage play, but PT trying to follow up here and create something off the second opportunity. Instead, it's going to be Ruffner cutting inside. He's belted off the puck. Gajtka, some of the Panther fans in attendance wanted a penalty there. They're not going to get it. Hardy on the saucer pass. It escapes out into the center ice area and backhanded right back in by the Panthers. Slipped up the far side wall, too far for anyone to reach. An icing call against PT. And now all these face-offs in either attacking zone, they get to be more and more critical. Timeout taken by Upper St. Clair. As Coach David Stock wants to talk it over. Each team gets the one timeout that is supposed to last exactly 1 minute. Well, let's look at some of the point getters in this game. Colin Ruffner, 2 goals and 2 assists, lead all scorers for Upper St. Clair. Also, Aaron Stawiarski, 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. That gives him 31 points on the season. George Garces, the defenseman, has a goal and an assist, including his 4th power play goal of the year. Zach Hardy has 2 assists for Upper St. Clair. On the Peters Township side, Ben Kovac, 2 goals and an assist. Will Tomko now with 3 goals in this game. Single assist for Drew Alexander, Rich Woods, and Porter Erb, and Charlie Caputo. Let's not forget he scored to make it 2-0. Feels like a long time ago now, but Caputo scored his 2nd goal of the year on top of all that. Actually, I misspoke. They have Ben Kovac for 2 goals on the official score sheet, but in fact, it is not. Kovac has just the 1 goal and 1 assist. They've given that second Tomko goal to Kovac, but I'm almost certain it was Tomko got the last touch to it to hack it in on his own wraparound. All right, so the timeout's over, and you know which line is out there for Upper St. Clair. If not, you haven't been paying attention, not just tonight, but all season. So Colin Ruffner with Hardy and Stawiarski on his wings. Oh, it's strength on strength because Peters Township sends the Tomko line out there along with Ben Kovac and Cole Newpaver. Tomko took the draw, and eventually the Indians toss it out of the zone, but that goes too far over the goal line for another icing. 1:31 remaining. We're going to be pressing up against that 9 o'clock start time for Cannon Mac and Central Catholic, so those 2 teams are going to have to be patient. But if they're watching, they're catching a good one, aren't they? And there you see, just down to our left, someone, a member of the Vikings, I think it was. No, actually, that's probably one member of the Cannon Mac squad with the blue pants, not purple. Stawiarski wanted to shoot that. That was deflected just behind Ruffner. Here comes the Tribe now. Kovac taking a look, wanted to feed it in front. That was broken up. We'll go back the other way. Gialames. 1-on-3, though, as his teammates were slow to join him on that rush, and it's ripped away from him. Tomko on his off wing. 3 goals in this game. Misfired on that. That was off a stick, maybe. Newpaver. Dish it behind the goal line. Now back out in front. A chance for Forrester, and he's stopped. An opportunity to win the game, basically, for Forrester and get his 2nd goal of the year. I almost said his 1st goal. He has scored 1 on the season, but this one would have been a little bit more memorable. But instead, with 57 seconds left, we'll face it off in the Upper St. Clair zone. Schuster booted from the dot. So Keller has to come in against the Peters Township captain, Mertens, who wanted to just push it right to the front. It comes loose. Martin dished it back. Woods shooting into a forest of bodies. Didn't have a chance to get through as it turned out. Down to 45 seconds left. Gajtka does good work to win it back for PT inside the line. Now here's Mertens and over the Upper St. Clair line. His dish goes off the skate of Camden Martin. It's Mertens, Martin, and Malley out there. Final half minute. 2-on-3 rush. Pulling back Schuster. Kind of took a cautious approach, then threw it right to the front, and it's in the glove of the right-handed catching Nolan Hilbert. And I apologize to Andrew Galmus. I've been saying Gialames tonight. I actually knew that from the first time they played. It had slipped my mind, though. The first time they played on 10-band TV, I meant to say, against Cannon Mac. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in right now. We're coming down to it. A win for PT puts them in solo first place. Win for Upper St. Clair gets them closer to the top half of the playoff field. After starting 2-4 on the season, the Panthers have won 4 straight. Ruffner scanning, and he'll go below the goal line with this one, playing it safe. It appears we're destined for OT as it's swatted out into the neutral zone. Malley trying to get a stick to it, could not. Final couple of seconds. Woods, one last opportunity, but time runs out before he can make anything happen. There's the buzzer. We're going to go to overtime on 10-band TV. Time for a short break, and we'll bring it back. We'll play 3-on-3 sudden death for 5 minutes to see if we can decide a winner from Printscape Arena. All right, hope you're ready. I am. I know that. This is Matt Gajtka on 10-band TV. Welcome back. It's a 5-5 game, Peters Township and Upper St. Clair. The second consecutive overtime game for Peters Township and the second straight one we've had here on our broadcast. Last Monday at Barrel in Warrendale, PT won it 4-3 in the last minute of overtime on a rebound goal by Luca Maeda, sophomore forward. Taking care of business. That was the first OT game of the year for Peters Township. Upper St. Clair's played one. They lost in a shootout to North Allegheny in the first half of the season. Here's Tomko, rounding his net. That's Newpaver now. Newpaver careening down and trying to make the pass in front, but it's blocked off by Hardy. Hardy, Ruffner, and Stawiarski out. There's 3 forwards for Upper St. Clair and head coach David Stock. Back to the blue line and out of the zone. PT's going to regroup. You see this a lot in 3-on-3. It's 3 minutes of 3-on-3. I misspoke. I said 5 minutes earlier. Not quite as long as the NHL version. Zach Hardy doesn't have a goal in this game, but he's got a couple of assists. Watch out. Hilbert came out. Couldn't knock it away from his net, but no harm, no foul, as here's Newpaver hooking up with Tomko. Tomko with some room, as you'd imagine. 3 forwards again for Peters Township. Tomko going right to the net. And he was fouled as he couldn't get the shot off. Wanted to go to the forehand. He's already got 3 goals in this game, does Will Tomko. Bidding for a 4th and the game winner. Not to be there. Galamas held up just barely to keep Upper St. Clair onside. Here's Keller, run into. And pushed away from him out to center. And we have an offside play, I believe, with 1:23 left in the overtime. Just the one real scoring chance, that Tomko, and he didn't even get a shot off on it. If no goals, we'll go to a shootout. Peters Township led 3-1 late in the first period. It was tied 3-3 going into the third. Now referee Scrates will drop this puck between Mertens and Ruffner. The USC top 3 right back out there. Now Mertens taking the shot and put it over the net. You heard that bang off the glass. Taking down toward 1 minute to go already in the 3-on-3. Hardy with a hockey stop behind the net. Fed it on to Aaron Stawiarski. And here's Ruffner. Lines one up and scores! Colin Ruffner goes top shelf to the far side, and Upper St. Clair has won 5 in a row. They get it done 6-5 tonight at Printscape Arena. Ruffner finishes off the hat trick with the overtime winner just inside of a minute to play in sudden death. How about that for the Panthers? A resilient win. They trailed by 2 early, and they just kept on coming. And again, it's the big guys up top who eventually push that boulder over the hill. Stawiarski picks up an assist on that play. That's his 4th point of the night, and Ruffner rings it into the net past the blocker hand of Nolan Hilbert. Peters Township falls in overtime. PT still picks up a point as the two teams exchange handshakes at center ice. An incredible hockey game that we just saw. PT moves into a tie for first place, 3-way tie now, atop AAA with that point garnered tonight. They're on 21 points along with Seneca Valley and North Allegheny. Seneca Valley losing last night, so yes, we are all flat-footed atop Class AAA. Meanwhile, Upper St. Clair, one of the stories of the season, they've now won 6 out of 7 and 5 in a row after a 2-4 start, and they move up to 8-4-1 on the season. Upper St. Clair now just a point behind Cathedral Prep for 5th place as their surge continues into the second half of the year. Well, Will Tomko had a hat trick. We saw a 2-goal game for Stawiarski, but 3 goals for Colin Ruffner, including the one that decides it. Thank you so much for watching on 10 Band TV tonight. As you can see, a lot of sportsmanship going on between these two sides. Great to see that. In the end, it is a game. It's a sport we all love, we're all passionate about, but we can always shake hands after that. And hey, why not? Both teams should be thrilled with their performance in this one. There's a lot to like on both sides. Maybe not if you're a defensive coach or a goaltender, but I know from my perspective, one of the more entertaining games I've had the chance to call in the PIHL. Coming up next in our doubleheader, it'll be Central Catholic invading Printscape Arena to take on Cannon Mac. So stay with us on 10 Band TV. We'll have that feed separate for you on the PIHL page. For Todd Kazarowski and crew, this is Matt Gajtka saying goodbye for just a few minutes. Talk to you in a moment, right back here in South Point.